October 1st. Another Tuesday. Another day of Mr. Abernathy's relentless noise. It starts at precisely 7 a.m. The scraping of chairs across his hardwood floor, a sound that drills directly into my skull. Then the blare of his ancient television, tuned always, it seems, to a channel dedicated solely to static and the occasional muffled game show host. I swear the man is deaf. Or simply sadistic. For months, I've endured. For months, I've told myself he's old. He's just living his life. But my life is a constant, grating soundtrack of his existence. I work from home, a freelance graphic designer, and focus is my currency. Every single pixel I place, every line I draw, is an act of defiance against the cacophony next door. I've tried talking to him politely at first. Mr. Abernathy, lovely day. I was wondering if you could perhaps turn your TV down a touch? I work odd hours, you see. He just blinked at me, a watery, vacant stare, and mumbled something about his stories. His stories that sound like a trapped banshee. I've left notes, increasingly less polite, slipped under his door. They vanish. No response. No change. It's like living next to a brick wall that occasionally emits ear-splitting vibrations. The building manager? Useless. He's a long-time resident, Mr. Abernathy. We can't just evict him for noise complaints unless it's excessive. Excessive? What constitutes excessive when your sanity is fraying like an old rope? I lie awake at night, even when he's finally quiet, replaying the day's auditory assault, dreading the morning. I used to love mornings. Now they're just a countdown to the next sonic invasion. Sometimes, late at night, I find myself staring at our shared wall, imagining ways to silence it. Harmless fantasies, of course. Just fantasies.
October 8th. The fantasies are becoming less harmless. Or rather, my patience is becoming dangerously thin. This morning, it wasn't just a TV. It was drilling at 8:30 a.m. Drilling, like he was attempting to bore a hole directly into my apartment, into my brain. I snapped. I marched over, fists clenched, and hammered on his door. Mr. Abernathy, what in God's name are you doing? I yelled, my voice hoarse with fury. The drilling stopped. Silence. Then the door creaked open a sliver. His eye, magnified by thick glasses, peered out. Problem, young man? He croaked. Problem? You're destroying my peace, my work, my life. I practically shrieked. He just stared, that same blank, indifferent stare, and then, slowly, deliberately, he closed the door. Not a word. Just a slow, deliberate closure. The click of the lock felt like a personal insult. The drilling resumed 10 minutes later, even louder, it seemed. I felt a tremor of something truly dark deep within me, something cold and hard. It wasn't just annoyance anymore. It was hatred, pure, unadulterated hatred for this old man who seemed to exist solely to torment me. I spent the rest of the day with headphones clamped over my ears, blasting death metal, trying to drown him out. It barely worked. The vibration still seeped through the wall, a phantom limb of his relentless presence. I started researching soundproof materials online, but then I looked at my bank account. It would cost a fortune I didn't have, all to counteract one inconsiderate old man. There had to be another way, a simpler way, a permanent way. The thought, once fleeting, now lingered. It settled in the quiet corners of my mind, a dark, alluring whisper. October 15th. I haven't slept properly in weeks. The dark circles under my eyes are permanent fixtures. My clients are complaining about missed deadlines and shoddy work. My life is spiraling, and he is the vortex. Yesterday, I tried a different tack. I baked him a pie, apple cinnamon, his favorite, according to the building manager. I even used a fancy lattice crust. I genuinely tried to be the bigger person, to extend an olive branch. I knocked on his door, pie in hand, a forced smile plastered on my face. He opened it, looked at the pie, then at me. What's this? He grumbled. A peace offering, Mr. Abernathy. I thought perhaps we could start fresh. He took the pie, sniffed it suspiciously, and then, without another word, closed the door. Didn't thank me. Didn't offer a polite platitude. Just took the damn pie and shut me out. 5 minutes later, I heard it. The clang of the pie plate hitting the bottom of his trash can, followed by the familiar, jarring sound of his television being cranked up another notch. That was it. That was the moment something inside me irrevocably snapped. The last thread of my civility, my humanity, unraveled. I stood there in the hallway, staring at his door, my hands trembling. The anger wasn't a whisper anymore. It was a roar. It filled my head, deafening me to everything but the throbbing pulse in my temples. He wouldn't listen to reason. He wouldn't respond to kindness. He was a parasite, feeding on my peace, and he had to be removed. The idea, once a dark whisper, was now a fully formed plan, a chillingly logical solution to my torment. I went back into my apartment, my mind a whirlwind of dark intent, and started to think. October 18th. The plan has solidified. It's cruel but effective, and, I think, untraceable. I've been meticulous. I studied his routine. He goes to the grocery store every Thursday morning, always at 9 a.m., always for exactly an hour. He leaves his door unlocked then, just the main deadbolt engaged, which is easily bypassed with a bump key. I've practiced. It's surprisingly simple. The tool itself I fashioned from an old toothbrush handle and a few carefully filed paper clips. A YouTube tutorial, ironically enough, showed me everything I needed to know. The apartment complex is old. The locks aren't high security. For the past few nights, I've taken to wearing earplugs, trying to dull the noise, but it's more about preserving my sanity until the plan is executed. My sleep is still fractured, filled with vivid nightmares of his cackling face. I've even prepared a change of clothes, just in case, though I doubt it will be necessary. No forced entry, no witnesses. Just a quiet, efficient removal of an obstacle. I've thought about the aftermath. The police will investigate. Of course. Natural causes. They'll say, old man dies alone in his apartment. It happens all the time. No one will suspect a thing. I will finally have peace. The thought of it, pure, unadulterated silence, is a siren song. It's the only thing that's kept me going these past few days. The air in my apartment feels thick with anticipation, a heavy, suffocating blanket. Tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow it ends. The finality of it all is terrifying, yes, but also exhilarating, a perverse sense of justice. October 19th, Thursday. It's done. I feel numb. The morning started as usual, with his infernal TV. I watched my clock. 9 a.m. Heard the click of his door, the shuffle of his slow footsteps down the hall. Waited 5 minutes. My heart was pounding, a drum against my ribs. My hands were slick with sweat. I took a deep breath, grabbed the bump key from my drawer, and stepped out. The hallway was empty. His door looked innocuous, just like any other. I inserted the key, gave it a firm tap with the base of my palm, and heard the satisfying click. It was almost too easy. I slipped inside. The apartment was surprisingly normal. Cluttered, yes, but not the den of evil I'd imagined. The TV was still on, its volume still offensively loud, a testament to his oblivious nature. I found him in his armchair, facing the television, a half-eaten bowl of cereal on the small table beside him. He looked so frail, so small. A fleeting moment of doubt, of revulsion, flickered through me. But then I heard the static from the TV, and it hardened my resolve. I can go back. Not now. I approached him from behind. He didn't stir. His breathing was shallow, raspy. It took less effort than I expected. A pillow held firmly over his face. He struggled, of course. A pathetic, weak struggle that barely lasted a minute. His old hands flailed, scratching weakly at my arms through my long sleeves. His legs kicked, a feeble dance. Then stillness. The TV played on, oblivious. The silence in his apartment, save for the constant drone of the television, was profound. I stood there for a long moment, listening to my own ragged breathing, the phantom pressure of the pillow still in my hands. Then I turned off the TV. The sudden, absolute quiet was deafening. I felt a strange mixture of horror and relief. I wiped down everything I might have touched, carefully replaced a bump key in its hiding spot in my apartment, and then I walked out, locked the door behind me, just as I always do. October 20th. Yesterday was a blur. I remember coming back to my apartment, showering, scrubbing myself raw, trying to wash away the feeling of him. The smell of his apartment, the musty scent of old age, still seemed to cling to me. I spent the rest of the day in a haze, staring at my silent walls. The silence was glorious, at first, a vast, echoing expanse of nothingness. No scraping chairs, no blaring TV, no drilling, just the hum of my refrigerator and the distant city sounds. It was everything I had craved, everything I had killed for, and yet a strange unease has settled in, a cold, creeping feeling that something isn't quite right. I keep expecting the noise to start, a phantom limb syndrome of my tormented past. My ears strain, listening for any telltale sign of life next door. There is none. The police came today, just as I predicted. Uniformed officers, somber faces. A medical examiner's van. I watched from my peephole. They knocked on my door, asked if I'd seen Mr. Abernathy recently. I feigned surprise, sadness even. Oh, dear. No, not since I gave him that pie the other day. I said, trying to sound genuinely concerned. They nodded, wrote something in their notebooks, and moved on. Natural causes, they concluded. Old age, just as I knew they would. The official pronouncement should have brought me a wave of triumph. Instead, I feel empty. The silence is no longer glorious. It's oppressive. It's a vast, empty space where something used to be, something that, despite my hatred, was a constant in my life. And now there's just nothing. And this nothingness feels heavier than any noise ever did. October 22nd. 2 nights of perfect, absolute silence. I should be celebrating. I should be reveling in the peace. But the unease has grown. It's a tight knot in my stomach, a persistent whisper at the edge of my hearing. Last night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to the oppressive quiet. Then it happened, a soft tap. Tap, 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 from his door. My heart leaped into my throat. I froze. Every muscle in my body tensed. It must be my imagination, I told myself. A branch hitting the window, the settling of the building. But it was distinct. 3 gentle, insistent taps. Exactly where his door would be, on our shared wall. I held my breath, listening. Nothing. Just a continued silence. I tried to rationalize it. Stress, guilt, a hyper-awareness of every sound. I eventually drifted off, convinced it was a figment of my sleep-deprived mind. But tonight, it happened again. 11:37 p.m. I was sitting at my desk, trying to work, trying to shake off the lingering sense of dread. Tap, tap, tap. This time, there was no denying it. It was real. It was coming from his apartment. It was the same 3 taps. Deliberate, insistent. My blood ran cold. He's dead. I killed him. He can't be knocking. It's impossible. My mind raced, searching for any logical explanation. A faulty pipe? The wind? But it was too distinct, too rhythmic, too specific. It sounded exactly like someone knocking on a door. His door. I spent the next hour huddled in my armchair, staring at the wall, waiting. There were no more taps. But the memory of them, the chilling certainty of what I had heard, was enough to keep me from closing my eyes. October 25th. It's happening every night now. Always between 11 p.m. and midnight. Always those 3 distinct taps. Tap, tap, tap. It's not loud. It's almost polite. But it's there, and it's driving me insane. I've tried everything. Earplugs, headphones with music blasting, even sleeping on my sofa on the opposite side of the apartment. It doesn't matter. I still hear it. It's like it's not just a sound, but vibration that goes directly into my bones, into my mind. I even went over to his door once, after hearing it. I stood there, heart pounding, listening. Nothing. Just the cold, inert wood. I pressed my ear against it, hoping to hear something, anything that could explain it. The familiar musty smell of his apartment, now mixed with the faint scent of decay, seeped through the crack. It made me gag. I haven't slept more than an hour or two each night. The dark circles under my eyes are back, more pronounced than ever. My hands shake constantly. I jump at every unexpected sound. My apartment, once my sanctuary, has become a prison where a dead man knocks on my wall every night. I'm starting to wonder if I'm losing my mind, if the guilt, the stress, the sleepless nights are finally breaking me. But then I hear it again, clear as day, and I know it's not just in my head. He's there, or something is there, and it's knocking. November 1st. The knocking has intensified. It's no longer just 3 taps. Sometimes it's a rapid series of knocks, growing in urgency. Sometimes it's a slow, deliberate cadence, like someone testing the strength of the barrier between us. And sometimes between the knocks, I swear I can hear other sounds. A faint scuttling, a soft groan. My imagination, I tell myself, it has to be. I've started barricading my door at night, piling chairs, books, anything I can find against it. It's illogical, I know. He's not coming in. He's just knocking. But it makes me feel marginally safer, a pathetic attempt to ward off the inevitable. I've stopped leaving my apartment unless absolutely necessary. The thought of running into a neighbor, of having to pretend everything is fine, is unbearable. What if they ask about the noise? What if they heard something? No one has. Of course. No one else seems to be bothered. It's just me and the dead man who won't stop knocking. I try to work, but my focus is shattered. Every shadow, every creak, every gust of wind outside sends shivers down my spine. I've considered moving, just packing a bag and leaving everything behind. But where would I go? Would the knocking follow me? Would his persistent presence somehow transcend brick and mortar, haunting me wherever I go? I feel trapped, caught in a nightmare of my own making. The peace I craft was a lie, a cruel, twisted lie that has only brought me a new, far more insidious form of torment. November 5th. I can't take it anymore. The knocking is constant now, not just at night. Sporadic throughout the day, a constant reminder what I did, of who is still there. My nerves are completely frayed. My mind feels like a raw, exposed nerve. Last night I heard something new. A voice, faint, raspy, muffled through the wall. I strained to hear it, my heart hammering. It was just one word, repeated over and over. Why? Not a question, but an accusation. Why? 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 It echoed in my head long after the sound faded. I know I killed him for peace, for silence. But I have neither. Only a terrifying, relentless accusation from beyond the grave. I've stopped eating, stopped sleeping. I just sit in my apartment, waiting, listening, slowly losing my grip on reality. I know what I have to do. The only way to make it stop. The only way to truly silence the knocking. To finally achieve the peace I so desperately crave. It won't be easy, but it's the only way out. He wanted to be heard, and he will be. I pick up the hammer, heavy and cold in my hand. The wall, the shared wall. It's not just a barrier anymore. It's a portal, and I'm going to open it. I'm going to confront him once and for all. No more knocking. No more questions. Just an end. An end to all of it. I raise the hammer. The first strike feels almost ceremonial. The plaster cracks. Dust blossoms in the air. He wanted my attention. Now he has it. Now we'll talk.